I guess I should just I want to preface this because I had an opinion about this game months ago because everyone was like, there weren't any trans people in the writing room. Why the fuck did they make a game with a trans character in it? So I was kind of biased about this from the get-go. I was like, this is probably gonna be a shit show, but it's gonna look real fucking pretty. But I was kind of keeping it in the back of my mind where I thought, like, I think they learned their lesson with Life is Strange. I think that because this is the same studio, this is Don't Nod. One of the big controversies about Life is Strange is that it ends with either the tropes, bury your gays, or queer baiting. They don't have anything in between because spoilers for Life is Strange. I apologize if you haven't played it by now, but I'm going to get into that. People are like, hey, what the fuck? If you're going to make a queer game for queer people, maybe don't make us so fucking sad. Like all of the media in our lives. So I had in the back of my mind, I was like, they weren't going to do that twice. I couldn't see them doing it twice. The stupidity of some companies greatly astounds me. So I wouldn't doubt it if they did do something terrible. But I was like, it's probably just going to be fucking torture porn and we're just going to like be sad and like, okay. But there was a big gaming event. I think it was E3 because it was completely switched to online because the coronavirus had already happened by that time. It was either accessibility in gaming or it was a panel basically where they had people from 3 different games. One of them was like a game for blind players. One of them was a game with accessible controls for people who might have difficulty holding a controller physically. And then the third game was Tell Me Why, which had trans representation. The event caught my eye and the VOD was on YouTube. And I was like, okay, impress me. Let's listen. Let's see what the fuck this is about. And I forget who it was, but it was this woman who she was talking about how they worked really closely with GLAAD, the organization, GLAAD. I believe Tyler is the name of the character. They worked really closely to make sure they didn't do anything shitty, basically. These are my words. She said it in a more professional way, in a more professional setting, because you can't say the word shitty during I think it was an Xbox Live event of some kind. And the way that she was speaking, maybe I've been tricked, we'll see. But it felt very genuine. It felt like she was really, like it was really, really important to her. And it felt like she was speaking from the heart, and she was like just going into detail about like all the steps they took and who they talked to. And she was using correct wording, and it was enough that it impressed me a lot. And I was like, okay, I'll play the game. And that, just watching that event was enough to completely flip 180 my mind. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Because I honestly wasn't going to play the game before I saw that. This game has been at the complete opposite sides of the spectrum for me, where it's like, this is going to be a shit show and this might actually be good. So we'll see. I don't know what to expect of it. There is a warning at the beginning, and this is for y'all and also as a talking point. It made me think, hey, this might be kind of torture porny, because it said like, this game goes into talking about abuse and stuff like that. So, and my opinion on that is that we don't want to be stereotypical or boring with how we talk about trans stuff. You know, like, yes, we can do a story where like the trans character is sad and the parents have disowned the child, and we can go into all of our fucking hardships and it will make me sad. But the thing is, trans people have not had good representation in media until recent history. So I'm okay with it, because a lot of cis people haven't heard this before. There's going to be a lot of cis people who play this game and are like, and see the torture porn and are like, fuck, I didn't think about that before, or wow, I didn't even realize that they could go through this thing, or they will experience something that is not on our minds as trans people 24/7. And whether this is torture porny or not, the fact that Tyler exists in this space is going to save lives. And that's enough for me. You know, I'm fine with being sad for a bit if someone sees this character and feels better about themselves, you know, or someone sees this character and thinks twice about a trans relative they have or something like that, or a friend. I can acknowledge its flaws while also admitting that it is an important piece of media. Whatever the fuck happens in this game is going to be important to history, to gaming, to trans people in general. Because this is the first video game that has a trans male protagonist, and that's a fucking huge deal. So let's just be sad for a bit, and it will further humanity. You know what I mean? I'm fine with it. But if you are going to be sad watching this game, and again, I don't know how sad this game is going to be. The warning at the beginning made me feel like it might go into some really deep shit. But we just don't know until we play it. If it's going to make you too sad, I totally understand if you don't want to watch this. But for me, I'm fine with it. I think this is going to do way more good than bad, I feel. But let's just see. Let's just fucking see. Maybe I'll be completely wrong, but I don't believe that I will be. Do you think that game companies are afraid to put LGBTQ plus characters in games? I know it's been done before, but there's not many of them. Yeah, it is. It's a shitty way to think of it, but companies do have to think of it in the way of like, will we make money with this game? It's why I quit my marketing major. You know, I switched to writing junior year of college. I wanted to be in marketing since I was a kid, and it was very exciting to me, the creative side of things. And then I got 2 years into my degree, and they were like, hey, now we've gotten to the part where we teach you how to manipulate people and make them feel shitty about themselves so they will spend money on your product. And I was like, my heart is too soft. I cannot. I must bid you adieu. So I quit because that's not the side of things that I'm too my heart. I can't. I'm not built for that kind of environment. It would just like slowly kill me, you know. But that is the way that game companies need to think about it, is because most companies are built by straight white cis dudes, and they don't typically understand, if they're not raised in an environment with other cultures or other kinds of people, they'll just keep making the same fucking Assassin's Creed game until they die, and they wouldn't have put diversity in it if no one had told them to, you know. If they were like, well, we've been doing this for years and it makes money, and it's a risk, as shitty as it feels to say that, it's a risk to put a trans character in there. It's a risk to put a gay storyline, even people of color, you know. They're like, well, will people buy this game? And the fact is, fucking yes, of course they will. But we need to like prove it. So with this game having a trans protagonist, if it makes gangbusters, if this fucking sells like hotcakes, it is proof to the gaming companies like, this shit will sell. There is a market for it. You need to take this risk, because it's not a risk, because there are people who exist who aren't straight and white, and they will also play video games. Do you know how many trans people are in gaming? Like, trans women are so into games, you know, like, it's fucking insane. You vote with your dollar. So you will. I hope this game sells well, so that people see that this is not a risk, and that you can put trans people in your fucking video games, and it's not going to like bomb. You know, trans people are the realest gamers. They really are. There's like, it's ridiculous the amount of just queer people who enjoy video games is insane. You know, because like, think about it. Look up all the indie games, the games that queer people are making, because they're not in the mainstream. You know, there's all kinds of fucking dating sims, and you know, like I was in ROM 2064, and that was fucking cool as hell. I need to replay it. There was a non-binary character in there. You can make your character you can choose your pronouns for your protagonist. It's pretty fucking advanced. Having a trans person in your game shouldn't be political. It should just be a thing, because trans people walk around the world and like exist, you know what I mean? It's crazy. But I'll be honest, I was, and in many ways still am, very ignorant to a lot of challenges trans people face. I'm grateful for the chance to learn and to hear everyone's story. That's dope, man. Yeah, it's you know, like I said before, this game is going to do more good than bad. So if I have to be sad for a little bit, that's fair, because you know what? Maybe it won't make me sad. Maybe seeing this character struggle in ways that I have it will connect me to them in a way. As crazy as that sounds, a piece of media connecting you in an emotional way, that sounds fake. I've done my spiel, so let's just fucking dive in and see if this game is good or not. Nut. What? Wait. Okay. Hold on. Does this say Nut? Is this dog's name Nut?